75 years ago today, Jackie Robinson made history when he stepped on the field for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He broke Major League Baseball's self-imposed color barrier and ushered in a new era for the game. My co-anchor Lindsay Shively live inside the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum this morning. Lindsay, a lot of people may not know this. Maybe in Kansas City they do, but if they don't, he actually got his start in baseball right here.
That's right, and today is about so much more than baseball, but you have to remember that Jackie Robinson first wore a Kansas City Monarchs uniform. How did he end up in Kansas City? Listen to this.
Before he was number 42, he was number 5 for the Kansas City Monarchs.
And how did Jackie Robinson wind up in Kansas City? Born in Cairo, Georgia, Robinson was an incredible all-around athlete at UCLA before he was drafted into the Army and stationed in Kansas.
He was stationed in the Army at Fort Riley, and the great Joe Louis helped Jackie get into officer school. When Jackie gets into officer school, he's transferred to Fort Hood in Texas. Hilton Smith had seen Jackie play baseball in the military, and he recommended Jackie Robinson to J.L. Wilkinson.
Kendrick said many of the Monarchs players were gone serving in World War II when Robinson reached out to J.L. Wilkinson, the owner of the Monarchs, for a tryout.
So if they have their full roster intact, I don't think Jackie would have ever gotten invited to try out. And how would history have been altered?
But he got the tryout and made the team. He first played for the Kansas City Monarchs for 5 months before later donning 42 for the Dodgers.
Did you know any of that? Did you know that he was stationed at Fort Riley, that he played for 5 months before making his way into the minors and then the majors? Bob Kendrick is here. He's been filling me in on all of this incredibly important history. Why is it so important to talk about his time in Kansas City playing in the Negro Leagues for the Monarchs, Bob?
Well, I think it's important because it helps, again, substantiate the importance of what the Negro Leagues were all about. And so had it not been for the Negro Leagues, we don't get Jackie Robinson. Therein lies the question, if not Jackie, who? And where would that player have come from? And so not only Jackie Robinson, Lindsay, but the litany of other players who transitioned into Major League Baseball, both black and brown, the majority of them came out of the Negro Leagues, which coincidentally is what put the Negro Leagues out of business.
Right, because then the team started.
Yeah.
Integrated, and we're in this corner that talks a lot about Robinson and the movie 42. We all remember when that came out. They debuted it here. When you think about today, you think about the MLB players are going to have 42 on the jerseys. Why is today, 75 years later, so critical?
We should never forget the day that Jackie Robinson, as I like to say, took that first step to become the man to walk on the moon. Because his breaking of the color barrier changed things dramatically, not only in the game of baseball, but in this country. Jackie Robinson's breaking of the color barrier wasn't just a part of the civil rights movement, it was the beginning of the civil rights movement in this country. And that is so amazing, but it speaks to the reverence that baseball held in our society then, and to a great degree still holds in our society. It is, and it was, and is America's national pastime.
And such a part of our history.
Absolutely.
Do you still find, or maybe is this true, that when people are first beginning to learn about Negro Leagues baseball and maybe their trips here, is Jackie Robinson one of, or maybe the only name they might know?
That's usually the name that they know, although they don't always know that he played in the Negro Leagues. But that's the name that they've heard. And a lot of times they'll say, well, do you have a statue of Jackie Robinson? No, because we look at it from those who preceded Jackie. Yeah, they are the ones who built the bridge. The heroes of the Negro Leagues, as Buck O'Neill would say, they built the bridge that allowed Jackie to cross over, and subsequently other black and brown baseball players to cross over to pursue their careers in the major leagues.
If you're sitting at home today thinking, I don't know enough about this, because you don't. I don't know enough about it. This is the place to come learn, right, Bob?
This is definitely the place to come learn. We encourage people to do so. It's a special place. We have this treasure here in Kansas City, or as I like to say, it is Kansas City's gift to the rest of the world.
That's right. The world-class museum.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bob. Bob has a busy day. You're going to be out at the K later, right?
Yeah, I'll be out at the K, still running my mouth. So.
Telling fantastic, important stories. Guys, back to you.